Coca-Cola. It's a global icon, a symbol of refreshment sold in literally every corner of the world. But what if I told you that this legendary drink, this fizzy friend to billions, wasn't supposed to exist at all? What if it all started as a medicine? It was born from a complete and total accident. Our story begins in 1886 in Atlanta, Georgia. Meet John Stith Pemberton, a local pharmacist and a Civil War veteran. Pemberton was on a quest, not for fame or fortune, but for a cure. He was struggling with his own health issues, including a morphine addiction he developed from his war injuries. And he was determined to create a patent medicine to relieve headaches, combat fatigue, and soothe frayed nerves. He tinkered and experimented in his apothecary, surrounded by glass bottles and handwritten labels, mixing and stirring. He eventually concocted a special syrup. It was a secret blend of ingredients, including extract from the coca leaf, the caffeine-rich cola nut, sugar for sweetness, and a healthy dose of wine. He called his new creation Pemberton's French wine coca. It was marketed as a nerve tonic, a brain tonic, and a cure for a whole host of ailments. People seemed to like it, and it sold reasonably well as a medicinal elixir. But just as Pemberton was finding some success, disaster struck. A storm was brewing in Atlanta, and it had nothing to do with the weather. The city, swept up in the temperance movement, passed a prohibition law. Suddenly, alcohol was illegal. Pemberton's French wine coca, with wine right there in the name, was now contraband. His entire business was on the verge of collapse. He was forced back to the drawing board, faced with the daunting task of reformulating his signature syrup without its key ingredient, the wine. He had to find a non-alcoholic base and fast. He worked tirelessly, trying to create a new version of the syrup that tasted just as good, but the results were, well, not great. It was a stressful, uncertain time, and the future of his invention hung precariously in the balance. Then came the fateful accident, the oops moment that would change the course of history. One sweltering afternoon, Pemberton was working in his lab, likely frustrated and tired. He mixed up a batch of his new alcohol-free syrup and wanted a sample. He sent his assistant over to the soda fountain at Jacob's Pharmacy, just down the street, to mix it with some plain tap water. But the assistant, in a moment of either confusion or pure chance, did something different. Instead of turning the tap for regular water, he pulled the lever for carbonated water. Fizzy, bubbly soda water cascaded into the glass, mixing with Pemberton's dark, sweet syrup. Pemberton took a sip. His eyes probably widened in shock. This wasn't the flat, slightly medicinal drink he was expecting. The fizziness of the carbonated water transformed the flavor entirely. It was crisp, invigorating, and incredibly refreshing. The bubbles danced on his tongue, cutting through the sweetness of the syrup. It was a revelation. This wasn't just a replacement, it was better. It was a happy accident, a moment of pure serendipity that would echo through generations. This wasn't a medicine anymore. This was *drink*. A delicious, unique, and utterly delightful drink. The new concoction was an immediate hit. They started selling it right there at the soda fountain in Jacob's Pharmacy for a nickel a glass. Pemberton's bookkeeper, Frank M. Robinson, came up with a name that he thought was catchy and memorable, using two of the key ingredients, Coca-Cola. He even designed the iconic flowing script logo that we still recognize today. Word spread like wildfire. Customers flocked to the pharmacy, claiming the drink not only quenched their thirst, but also made them feel energized and happy. What they didn't know was that this was partially because the original formula still contained trace amounts of cocaine from the coca leaves and a significant jolt of caffeine from the cola nuts. It was the perfect pick-me-up for a hot Atlanta day. Sadly, John Pemberton would never see the global empire his creation would become. His health was failing, and he passed away just 2 years later, having sold off most of his shares in the company. But the story doesn't end there. A shrewd Atlanta businessman named Asa Candler saw the immense potential in this unique beverage. He methodically bought up the remaining rights to the formula for just over $2,000. Candler was a marketing genius. He knew this drink was destined for more than just a local soda fountain. He quickly had the formula tweaked to remove the last traces of cocaine. patented the Coca-Cola name, and embarked on an aggressive marketing campaign. He printed coupons for free samples, plastered the logo on calendars, clocks, and serving trays, and expanded production at an incredible rate. He transformed it from a simple fountain drink into a bottled beverage that could be enjoyed anywhere. Within a few short decades, thanks to Candler's vision and relentless drive, Coca-Cola delivery wagons were a common sight, and its iconic bottle shape was recognized across the nation. It was no longer just a drink. It was becoming a part of American culture. So, the next time you hear that satisfying hiss as you crack open an ice-cold Coke, take a moment to remember its bizarre and unlikely journey. It started as a pharmacist's failed attempt to cure a headache, a medicinal wine that was outlawed. It was saved from obscurity by an accidental mix-up at a soda fountain, and then transformed by a visionary businessman into a billion-dollar global legacy. It's a powerful reminder that sometimes, the greatest successes aren't planned at all. They fizz into history from the most unexpected mistakes. Thanks for watching. If you love uncovering the strange but true stories behind everyday things, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss our next video. See you next week.